Brad Pitt has been famous for 30 years, and his love life has always been in the spotlight. Every time a relationship ended, people talked about it everywhere. He's not just a movie star who won an Oscar. He's someone whose love life has been watched and judged by everyone. Brad married two very famous actresses, Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie. People thought they were perfect couples, but both marriages ended badly, with lots of fighting in court and hearts getting broken. Every breakup left Brad feeling lonely and realizing that even the strongest love can fall apart. But through all the sadness and pain, there's one woman who got past Brad's perfect image and left a special mark on his heart. It's a love he still cares about deeply, without all the newspaper headlines or messy breakups. Who is she? Why did this one relationship survive all the other failed ones and stay in the heart of a man who lost two huge marriages? Stay with us as we discover Brad Pitt's true love and why he finally talked about her after so many years. Brad Pitt's love story started when he was a young actor trying to become famous, before the whole world knew his name. One of Brad's first girlfriends was a British pop singer named Sinada from 1986 to 1988. They dated before he became super famous. Years later, Sinada still said Brad was the most beautiful man with the most amazing body. But she felt bad about breaking up. When she watched the movie Thelma and Louise, she said, "Oh my God, what did I do?" She realized she had let go of someone who would become a huge star. Being with Brad got hard. A fan even slapped her outside a store because she was dating him. After that, Brad dated actress Jill Scolan, actress from Cutting Class, and voice actress E.G. Daly. Daly said something really meaningful about Brad. She said he had a deep soul and was super sweet, but he also had a big dream to do something really important. Then Brad got into his first big scandal when he became close to Robin Givens, who was married to the famous boxer Mike Tyson. Robin and Brad knew each other from working on the TV show Head of the Class. Things got crazy when Tyson wrote in his book that he once caught them in bed together. Robin strongly said that wasn't true in a 2019 interview, but she admitted that Tyson caught me and Brad pulling up in the driveway of my house. This was one of the first times Brad dealt with Hollywood drama. Then Christina Applegate embarrassed Brad at the 1989 MTV Movie Awards. She left him in the middle of the event to go with another guy. Applegate didn't tell anyone who the mystery man was until 2015, making Brad's embarrassing moment something people still remember. The first really important relationship in Brad's love life was with actress Juliette Lewis from 1989 to 1993, which lasted 4 years. They were a creative couple who worked together in the movies California and Too Young to Die. Even after they broke up, Brad said the sweetest things about her. "I still love the woman. That was one of the greatest relationships I've ever been in." But what he said about why it failed was even sadder. The problem is we grow up with this idea that love conquers all. And that's just not the case, is it? He learned early on that love has limits when real life gets in the way. Brad's relationship with Gwyneth Paltrow from 1995 to 1997 was the high point of his single years. They met while filming the movie Seven. Their relationship quickly became like a fairy tale. At the 1996 Golden Globes, Brad called her his angel and the love of my life. Gwyneth later told the story of how he proposed on a balcony in Argentina, saying it was a wonderful surprise. They got engaged, but surprisingly broke it off in June 1997, which made Gwyneth's dad really sad. Even though the fairy tale ended, they stayed friends. In 2022, Brad said, "It's lovely to have you as a friend now." This breakup led to his next love story, one that would make Brad world famous. Jennifer Aniston. The relationship between Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston wasn't just a love story. It was a huge cultural event that changed what it meant to be a Hollywood power couple. They first met in 1994 when their managers set them up. Jennifer just thought Brad was a sweet guy from Missouri, nothing romantic. But in 1998, when both were single after breaking up with Gwyneth Paltrow and Tate Donovan, their managers introduced them again. This time they really hit it off, and the first date was easy and fun. Things moved fast. They appeared together at the 1999 Emmy red carpet, and just 2 months later at a Sting concert, they announced they were engaged. Brad had spent 7 months designing the special platinum and diamond ring himself, showing how serious he was. On July 29, 2000, Brad and Jennifer had the wedding of the century in Malibu. The event cost almost $1 million and had 50 zero flowers, fireworks, and 200 famous guests. They became the symbol of a perfect couple. Their careers kept mixing together. Brad appeared on the TV show Friends in 2001, and they started a production company called Plan B Entertainment together, working on everything as a team. In 2003, problems started showing up. In an interview with W magazine, when a reporter called Brad the love of her life, Jennifer paused. She admitted, "I've never been someone who said he was the love of my life. He's certainly a big love in my life." This confession, along with Jennifer wanting to slow down and have children in 2004, was a bad sign. Just a few months later, in January 2005, the couple announced they were separating. They tried to control the story with a joint statement saying the decision was not the result of any of the speculation reported by the tabloid media. The divorce was finally official in October 2005. Right away, Jennifer talked about her pain to Vanity Fair magazine in a shocking interview. She described the feeling as it's sad, something coming to an end. It gives you a sense of, well, almost open in a way. Open to feeling. What hurt her most wasn't the ending, but how mean the media was, especially after photos of Brad and Angelina Jolie in Kenya came out. She was angry about being made to look like the victim in a love triangle. "I'm not defined by the role the media is trying to make me play in that triangle. It drives me crazy." Even with all the pain, Jennifer said she still loved him. In 2006, she said, "I love Brad. I really, really love him. I will love him for the rest of my life." Those words turned out to be true. After Brad separated from Jolie, the two started texting again. Their warm reunion at the 2020 SAG Awards became super popular online. Jennifer explained, "Brad and I are buddies. We're friends." This showed that respect had won over all the hurt feelings. But right after this chapter closed, a new and even more attention-grabbing chapter started in Brad Pitt's life with Angelina Jolie. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie met in 2003 while making the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. At that time, Brad was still married to Jennifer Aniston. This meeting wasn't just the start of a romance. It was the birth of a global empire, a cultural icon that shaped Hollywood and charity work for 10 years. From the moment Jolie and Brad appeared together as the cool assassin couple, everyone could tell something was happening. Audiences could feel the strong chemistry, but no one guessed how much it would destroy Brad's marriage to Jennifer. Jolie talked about their time working together in a 2007 interview with Vogue magazine. She said that at first they didn't fall in love right away, but enjoyed working together closely and as professionals. Because of the film, we ended up being brought together to do all these crazy things, and I think we found this odd friendship and partnership that kind of just suddenly happened, she said. But that denial couldn't hide the fact that their feelings changed very quickly. Jolie shared that just a few months into filming, she started feeling different, something she couldn't resist. "I think a few months in, I realized, God, I can't wait to get to work." They found joy in working together and becoming a real team, which was rare for two superstars who already had amazing careers on their own. She admitted, "We just became a couple in some way." Interestingly, Jolie kept a mental boundary. She stressed that at the time, she didn't know much about Brad's private life, and she saw him as a good man, clearly with his best friend, someone he loves and respects. It wasn't until the end of filming, when the connection had become too strong, that they truly realized this feeling meant much more than just working together on a movie. Both knew it was serious and needed to be handled carefully. This was a sign that they knew Brad's marriage to Jennifer was going to end. Brad and Jennifer's separation in January 2005 allowed Brangelina to step into the spotlight, not just as a couple, but as the creators of an amazing multicultural family. That same year, Jolie adopted her second child, Zahara Marley, from Ethiopia, joining Maddox. Brad quickly became like a father to them. By January 2006, to make the family bond official, both children changed their last name to Jolie. Pitt, a close friend, explained the charitable nature of this decision, telling People magazine, "It's the idea that you're in love and you want to build a family together. The beautiful thing is that you can do it biologically or by adoption." The major turning point happened that same month. Jolie confirmed she was pregnant with Brad's child. This news shocked the media, making Brangelina the most talked about couple on the planet. Their first biological daughter, Shiloh Newell, was born in Namibia. The decision to have the baby in Africa and sell the exclusive first photos for a record price to charity made their image as humanitarian partners even stronger. In December of that year, they made their official red carpet debut as a couple at the premiere of Jolie's movie, The Good Shepherd, in New York City. Their family kept growing quickly. In 2007, they adopted Pax Thien from Vietnam. In February 2008, Jolie appeared at the Independent Spirit Awards with a visible baby bump, later revealing she was expecting twins. Knox Leon and Vivienne Marcheline were born in France. With 6 children, 3 adopted and 3 biological, they completed a large, busy, and constantly watched family. Speaking to People magazine after the twins were born, Jolie said, "It is chaos, but we are managing it and having a wonderful time." Their life was a mix of Hollywood glamour, global charity trips, and the lovely chaos of 6 children. In 2012, after years of waiting, Brad and Angelina finally gave in to their children's wishes. The couple's representative confirmed their engagement with a diamond ring worth around $1 million. Their wedding happened in secret on August 23, 2014, at the chapel on their property, Château Miraval, in France. It was a deeply personal event focused on honoring their children. Jolie wore a unique wedding dress with artwork by her children sewn into the fabric. The couple even let their children help them write their wedding vows. They told People magazine, "It was important to us that the day was relaxed and full of laughter. It was such a special day to share with our children and a very happy time for our family." Strangely enough, it was during their honeymoon that they acted together in the movie By the Sea, released in 2015. In the movie, they played a couple going through a deep and painful marriage crisis. Many critics later thought this was a strange warning sign, an artistic reflection of their own real-life breakdown that was coming. Just over 2 years after their wedding, the Brangelina era ended suddenly and dramatically. September 20, 2016, Jolie filed for divorce. A statement from her representative shocked the world. Angelina Jolie Pitt has filed for dissolution of the marriage. This decision was made for the health of the family. Brad also made a brief and sad statement. "I am very saddened by this, but what matters most now is the well-being of our kids. I kindly ask the press to give them the space they deserve during this challenging time." Right after that, details of a serious argument on a private jet became public. It was reported that the situation became violent. Brad strongly said he never abused any of the children, but the incident started a full investigation. The Los Angeles Department of Child and Family Services thoroughly looked into the matter and found no evidence of abuse. The FBI also closed the case without charging Brad with anything. However, The incident badly damaged his public image and made the custody battle more complicated. By April 2019, a judge declared Brad and Angelina legally single, but that was only the end of the marriage on paper. Their legal fight continued for many more years behind the scenes, focusing on child custody and dividing their property. This fight is known as one of the longest and most expensive divorces in Hollywood history. It took almost 10 years to settle everything. Notably, they didn't fully finish the custody and financial agreements until December 2024, which marked the near-total end of all disputes. However, one issue still remains. The battle over the Chateau Miraval winery is still going on. This romantic property they own together, where they got married, has become their never-ending legal battlefield. After the Brangelina empire collapsed, Brad Pitt entered a time of thinking about himself and trying to become new again. He took a long time to heal before he started dating again. In April 2018, Brad was linked to Neri Oxman, a famous MIT professor and architect. This connection was completely different from his previous relationships with superstars. A source said that Brad was inspired by his friend George Clooney's marriage to human rights lawyer Amal. He was looking for someone who could challenge him, especially with smart conversations. Oxman was that change. Although she said she wasn't dating Brad, she praised him, calling him the last of the Mohicans in post-Netflix Hollywood, someone who blends the temporary with the timeless. In the summer of 2020, Brad returned to dating supermodels. He was connected to German model Nicole Paczorowski. Rumors started when they were seen at Chateau Miraval. However, this relationship ended quickly. By October, a close source confirmed it was never a relationship. They met a few times and that's it. It was a short fling, and that's all. Brad was clearly still looking for the deep connection he wanted. It wasn't until late September 2022 that Brad Pitt again made dating headlines with model and author Emily Ratajkowski. Both had recently separated from their partners. Ratajkowski had just split from her husband, Sebastian Bear-McClard. A source told People magazine that the timing was right, and Ratajkowski wasn't looking for anything too serious. "There is nothing better than Brad Pitt cheering you up," the source said. Ratajkowski was described as having the vibes Brad likes. She is bright and articulate and shares his artistic interests. Although it was just a few dates, this relationship showed Brad was slowly returning to emotional connection, but carefully. The search ended in November 2022, when Brad was seen with Swiss jewelry designer Inés de Ramon at a Bono concert. She had also recently separated from her husband, actor Paul Wesley. This relationship quickly became serious. They met through a mutual friend, and Brad is really smitten with her. They celebrated Brad's 59th birthday together, and sources said you can tell she makes him happy. By February 2024, Inés had moved into Brad's house in Los Angeles. By July 2024, a source confirmed things have been great since they moved in together. This is a more serious relationship than just dating. Finally, in September 2024, they made their official red carpet debut at the Venice Film Festival. Brad, who had been private and quiet for so long, now walked alongside a woman who seemed to have brought real peace and joy back into his life after the Brangelina storm. Although Brad Pitt found new love, his past with Jennifer Aniston remains an unforgettable mark. Following the long and intense legal battle with Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt entered a time of looking for balance and happiness. This period had important but short relationships before he found true stability. In late September 2022, the world buzzed when Brad Pitt was linked to model, author, and fashion icon Emily Ratajkowski. She too was fresh off a very public separation from her husband Sebastian Bear-McClard. This pairing was perfectly timed for both, two superstars looking for lightness after marriage breakdowns. Initial sources confirmed that Brad and Emily were spending time together, but warned to be careful. Friends aren't sure this is serious. It wasn't a red carpet event, but a private, interesting connection. An insider said the two were not officially dating. It was mutual interest. As October came, details slowly revealed what the relationship was like. A source close to Ratajkowski said that this wasn't the time for her to look for anything too committed. The timing is right, and she's not looking for anything too serious. For a man who had gone through a bitter divorce, being with a beautiful, independent, and uncommitted woman was a spiritual help. Nothing is better than Brad Pitt cheering you up, the source shared. Emily Ratajkowski also brought smart conversation that Brad had been looking for since the split with Jolie. Insiders described her as having the vibes Brad likes. She's smart and articulate. They also shared artistic interests, making their dates more meaningful. Although they had strong attraction and had a couple of dates, it was described as a light, unattached fling. The relationship quickly ended in late 2022, but it showed Brad's confident return to the dating world. Just a few weeks after the split with Ratajkowski, a new, much more serious chapter began. On November 13, 2022, Brad was spotted with Inez de Ramon, a beautiful and private jewelry designer, at a Bono concert in Los Angeles. Inez had also quietly separated from her husband, actor Paul Wesley. The coincidence in their marriage status and their need for stability brought them together through a mutual friend's introduction. By late November, a source confirmed they had been dating for a few months, and Brad is really smitten with her. Inez brought the calmness and maturity that Brad needed. She was not a superstar, nor connected to Hollywood's spotlight, which allowed their relationship to grow naturally and privately. In December 2022, Inez went with Brad to the premiere of Babylon, his new film, and was seen at the after party. This was the first public sign of a serious relationship. Just days later, Inez joined friends to celebrate Brad's 59th birthday at an Italian restaurant in Hollywood. The source described the atmosphere as very warm. Brad had a birthday dinner with Inez and friends. He sat next to Inez. They were very cute and flirty. You could tell that she makes him happy. Importantly, Inez brought the joy, peace, and personal support that Brad had wanted after years of legal tension. The relationship reached a new level when Inez moved into Brad's house in Los Angeles. This was a huge step of commitment for Brad, who had been careful for years. In July, a source shared, "Things have been great since they moved in together. This is a more serious relationship than just dating. Brad loves so many things about her. She's good for him." Finally, they made their official red carpet debut at the Venice Film Festival for the premiere of Wolves. Brad, who had been reserved and cautious throughout the divorce battle, now walked alongside a woman who seemed to have lifted his spirit. This event was Brad's official way of telling the world that he had found the peaceful place in his life. Although Brad has moved on with Inez de Ramon, the story of his life would be incomplete without the final chapter on Jennifer Aniston, an eternal mark on the hearts of fans and both of them. Even 2 years after their dramatic divorce, Brad told V Magazine in September 2007 a classic quote about growing up. "Jen and I maintain a deep friendship and have a lot of life together that is in no way erased." He expressed regret about how things happened and emphasized the importance of living each day fully. Time passed, but the public curiosity never faded. Until January 19, 2020, a moment that seemed straight out of a movie happened. The two reunited backstage at the SAG Awards. Jennifer had just won Best Actress for the morning show. Brad and Jennifer shared a smiling hug, a warm gesture caught by the cameras that quickly went viral. Beyond the screen, Catherine built her own empire called, "Wait, this pod seems to be about Catherine Zeta-Jones, a lifestyle brand of home goods, bedding, cosmetics, and fashion. Each item reflected her style, classic yet modern, refined yet lasting." Brand deals and partnerships brought in more than $20 million. Her net worth was estimated at $150 million, but Catherine never defined herself by numbers. "A beautiful home is only truly beautiful when it holds peace," she told a design magazine. The girl who nearly died on an operating table as a child, who left school at 15 to chase the stage, who once stood at the edge of marriage collapse and depression, has now found peace in the simplest of things: a dinner table, a jazz record, a glass of wine in the Olive Garden. Still, the darkness. After almost 2 decades apart, the relationship between Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston entered its most mature and respectful phase. 2 public moments redefined their legacy, not through romantic love, but through a deep friendship that went beyond all expectations and Hollywood noise. If the SAG Awards 2020 moment was a surprising hug, the event on September 18, 2020, was their first and boldest acting project together since the divorce. While the world was locked down by the pandemic, Brad and Jennifer joined an all-star virtual table read of the 1982 classic film Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The goal was to raise money for Sean Penn's nonprofit Core and Reform Alliance. The event instantly became a global focus. The two were cast as romantic teenage characters. The most shocking part was that they had to perform a sexually charged scene where Brad's character, Brad Hamilton, has a vivid fantasy about Jennifer's character, Linda Barrett. This moment was a true test of both their comfort and professionalism. Across the Zoom screen, surrounding co-stars like Julia Roberts, Morgan Freeman, Matthew McConaughey, and others burst into laughter at the delightful awkwardness. But all eyes on the internet were glued to the undeniable chemistry of the former couple. Not long after, Jennifer Aniston appeared on The Howard Stern Show to clear up any lingering awkwardness. She said it was an absolutely fun experience and gave the clearest statement about where their relationship stands. "Brad and I are buddies. We're friends." Jennifer stressed that the awkwardness only existed in the public's mind. "We speak, and there's no oddness at all, except for all the people who probably watched it and wanted there to be, or assumed there to be." She pointed out that their goal was to support a good cause, and the comfort they shared working together proved how mature their bond had become. They had overcome the bitterness to find their harmony again, even if only on a virtual screen, while fans worldwide continue to hold the flame of hope for a romantic reunion. Brad and Jennifer always remained honest about where they stand. However, to truly understand this comfort and respect, one must look back at Jennifer's words right after the divorce. Back in 2006, just a year after the split, in a long interview with Vanity Fair magazine, Jennifer showed rare maturity. She made a wish that later came true. "I genuinely hope that one day we can be friends again." Her confession had no bitterness, but was filled with genuine love and appreciation. "I love Brad. I really, really love him. I will love him for the rest of my life. He's a fantastic man. I don't regret anything, and I'm not going to beat myself up about it." She looked back at their 7 years together with gratitude. "We had 7 very intense years together. We taught each other a lot about healing and joy. We helped each other a lot, and I truly value that. This wasn't just words about a marriage, but proof of a deep bond that shaped both people." What hurt Jennifer most was not the end, but how the public reduced their relationship to a Hollywood cliché. The good girl betrayed. She expressed empathy for the pain everyone goes through and wished her tragedy hadn't unfolded before the world. Jennifer's honest words have been proven true over time. They laugh, they support each other, and they stand by each other, even if only as friends. This friendship has become one of the rarest things in Hollywood history, proof that respect can last even after the breakdown of love. However, with every reunion, every shared smile, and every honest word between them, one thought remains in the hearts of fans everywhere. Many still believe that Jennifer Aniston is, and always will be, the true love of Brad Pitt's life. The relationship between Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston has followed a unique path. Is the respect and lasting friendship they found the best possible outcome? Or should they give their relationship another chance now that both have matured through different challenges? Share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more incredible stories from Hollywood's dramatic romantic history. See you next time.